Before I start the content of this video, be sure to click the links in the description to purchase these authentic, limited edition Cristiano Ronaldo Al Nassr jerseys and Lionel Messi Inter Miami jerseys. Now, the big debate of the year. Who should win the 2023 Ballon d'Or? Should it be treble-winning Erling Haaland or World Cup-winning Lionel Messi? Be sure to watch this entire video, as I'm going to go over many different arguments as to why Erling Haaland should be crowned this season's Ballon d'Or winner. The most common argument I hear for Messi winning this season's Ballon d'Or is the fact that it is a World Cup year and the Ballon d'Or should prioritize the World Cup and its best players. However, this argument does not entirely add up. The World Cup has not been the sole deciding factor in any Ballon d'Or in the past decade and a half. Also, the Ballon d'Or is an award based on 12 months. It should not be given to a player who performed for only one out of those 12 months. The most notable counter-argument to the World Cup argument is that Lionel Messi won the 2010 Ballon d'Or over Andres Iniesta, a World Cup winner, and Wesley Sneijder, a World Cup finalist and a treble winner that season. Messi had a horrendous World Cup in 2010, having 29 shots on goal and failing to score even once. Argentina were eventually humiliated by Germany, who beat them 4-0 in the quarterfinals. Despite that horrendous World Cup, he went on to win the Ballon d'Or, meaning the World Cup had little to no impact on the Ballon d'Or that season. So why should it have a huge impact on the 2023 Ballon d'Or? Could it be that the Ballon d'Or criteria changes based on what Messi performs in? And another argument I see Messi fans make is that Iniesta and Sneijder were not the best players on their respective teams, and this is so far from the truth. Iniesta was by far Spain's best player in the 2010 World Cup, winning 3 Man of the Match awards and being instrumental in all of their wins. His Man of the Match awards came against Chile in a must-win group stage game, where he scored the match-winning goal. His second Man of the Match award came in the quarterfinal versus Paraguay, and who can forget his third Man of the Match award in that World Cup, in the final against the Netherlands, where he scored the winning goal. Iniesta was also instrumental in the Spanish wins against Portugal in the round of 16 and the semifinals against Germany. He was also Barcelona's most important player that season, so much so that the star-studded team lost against Inter Milan in the semifinals of the Champions League, a tie in which Andres Iniesta was injured in and did not take part of, proving how vital he was to the Barcelona squad that season. And all of that was not enough for him to win the Ballon d'Or. Wesley Sneijder did not even make the top 3 despite being a World Cup finalist and a treble winner that season. And Sneijder was a vital asset in the Netherlands reaching the World Cup final. He had 6 goals and assists in the entire World Cup, and 5 of them coming in the knockout stages itself. He scored and assisted in the Netherlands' 2-1 win over Slovakia in the round of 16, scored both goals in the Netherlands' 2-1 win versus Brazil in the quarterfinal, and scored the game winner in Netherlands' 3-2 win over Uruguay in the semifinal. He was also Inter Milan's best player in their Champions League winning team that season. Overall, he had 9 goals and assists, with 6 of them coming in the knockout stages. Those came against teams like Chelsea, Barcelona, and Bayern Munich. So my question is that if performing in the World Cup and winning the World Cup is enough for Messi to win the 2023 Ballon d'Or, why was it not enough for the World Cup winning Andres Iniesta or the World Cup finalist and treble winner Wesley Sneijder to win the 2010 Ballon d'Or? Why was Messi crowned the Ballon d'Or winner then if the World Cup should hold priority? And now, let's talk about Erling Haaland and what a brilliant individual season he had. He broke the record for the most Premier League goals in a single season with Man City, scoring 36 goals with 8 assists in just 35 games. To give some context on how insane this really is, Lionel Messi had 16 goals and 16 assists for PSG in the French league in 32 matches. So this means that Haaland had more goals than Messi had goals and assists in the league this season. And Haaland did this in less minutes. Haaland played 2,777 minutes, whereas Messi played 2,842 minutes. And let's not forget that Haaland had an exceptional Champions League season, ending the season as a top scorer with 12 goals and 1 assist. Whereas Messi only managed 4 goals and 4 assists, and was knocked out early on in the round of 16. And out of Messi's 8 goals and assists in the Champions League this season, 6 of those came against Maccabi Haifa in the group stage. Against the bigger teams such as Bayern Munich, Juventus, and Benfica, he did not do too much. Another myth that I want to debunk is that many Messi fanboys are claiming that Haaland has ghosted in big games. And this is just simply not true. Haaland had 11 goals and assists against the Premier League top 4 this season, and 19 goals and assists against the Premier League top 10. The Man City-Arsenal games were considered to be the title-deciding games at the time, and Haaland stepped up, accumulating 4 goals and assists across both games late in the season. Man City also spent much of the season behind Arsenal, so every Premier League game for most of the season was a big game that Man City could not afford to lose. And Haaland stepped up in almost every one of them. So much so that he broke the record for the most goals in a single Premier League season. Even in the Champions League, Haaland accumulated 8 goals and assists in the knockout stages. The first leg of the round of 16 versus Leipzig was drawn, so City had to win the second leg to qualify. And Haaland scored 5 goals in the second leg, which was the joint record for the most goals scored ever in a Champions League game, and he did it in only 63 minutes. He was also instrumental in Man City's win over Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals, scoring twice and assisting once across both legs. Talk about being a big game player. Now, let's compare that to Lionel Messi's season with PSG. First of all, it is important to note that the French league is nowhere near the quality of the Premier League. In fact, the French league keeps dropping out of Europe's top 5 leagues. The Premier League is the best league in the world, and the French league is, by definition, a farmers' league. And despite that, Messi only had 4 goals and assists against the French top 4. And he did have 14 goals and assists against the French top 10. But teams in the French top 10 include teams like Clermont Foot and Nice. The quality of the French teams is nowhere near Ballon Dor material level, and the goals and assists against teams like Clermont Foot and Nice should not make you a Ballon d'Or favorite. Even in the UCL, Messi pretty much ghosted in every big game. PSG were knocked out against Bayern in the round of 16. Also, PSG were knocked out in the round of 16 of the Coupe de France against Marseille, as Messi was present on the field but did not contribute anything. So, there you have it, folks. Despite Messi having an amazing World Cup, he was bang average in every realm in the rest of the season, and probably would not even make the top 30 Ballon d'Or shortlist if it was not for the World Cup. However, the World Cup does matter to an extent, and Messi should be in the top 10. However, the Ballon d'Or winner has not been solely decided based on the World Cup in over a decade and a half now. Modric won the Ballon d'Or after reaching the World Cup final with underdogs Croatia, yes. However, he also played a big role in Real Madrid's UCL win that season. And this Champions League was a big reason on why he won the Ballon d'Or that season. Kylian Mbappe did not win the Ballon d'Or in 2018 despite having a big role in France's World Cup win and being exceptional with PSG all year in 2018. The 2014 Ballon d'Or was not solely based on the World Cup either. And they should not change the Ballon d'Or criteria just for Messi, at least not again. Erling Haaland had arguably the best season for a striker whose name is not Ronaldo or Messi in the last 15-20 years. If he does not win the Ballon d'Or despite his heroics in the Premier League and the Champions League this season, then it will be crystal clear that France football and FIFA have a bias for Lionel Messi.